Hello guys and girls, in today's tutorial we'll be working on my Java Focus for Beginners 2026, my course 11 OOP Basics, Interface and Abstract Classes in Java. Okay, let's get started. So I will open my IntelliJ IDE and I hope you guys have yours open as well and ready to kick off with this interesting topic with me. So I'll go to my source and create new package so we can understand where we are. So we are in our course 11 and I'll create it like this, course 11, and I'll create a new Java class. Since we are talking about interface, I don't think I'll need like a main, but let me just create a main in case it might be necessary or something. So I'll create a main class just for creating, and then let's get started. So I'll start with explaining interface before I move to abstract classes. They are somehow similar and some people kind of find it confusing to understand the differences between an interface and an abstract class. Okay, so I'll give you a very good way to understand it. Like, think of an interface like a contract, a blueprint. Like, imagine you're designing multiple types of remote controls. Each of them must have each remote have a button, like we have AC remotes, TV remotes, and other things. So all the remote has a button, a power button, a turn on button, and a turn off button, but there are different things specified. So instead of using animals, students, like as you see in other tutorials, I think I'll just use a remote because it would be more understandable, a remote control. So let's get started. So firstly, I'm explaining interface. I'll create new in our course 11, new Java class. So which type of Java class I want to create? I want to create an interface. What will I call the interface? It would be remotes, like this. So remote, I'll call it remote. Let me zoom it a little bit, like I think 19 is good. Okay. And wait, hold on. Yeah, cool. So an interface is just like if you're going to be inheriting from the remote class, you have to promise it that you're going to use all its method or its originated method already that is in it before you can be able to go through without an error. Okay, let me code a little bit to make you guys understand. So I'll call like a method called void, a method. So I'll call it power on. So this is a power on method. That means the remote can power on. Then I will now create another method. I will name it volume up, volume up method, and then I will create another method and I will name it a volume down method. Okay, so let's get started. So let's say we are creating a TV remote or something, and if you want to implement an interface, you make sure you are going to inherit all the already originated methods in the interface. So if I go to my course 11, I'll create a new Java class and I'll call it TV remotes or something, anything you want to call it, and then I'll zoom it out a little bit so it would be visible. And then let's say I want to implement the remote interface. So I'll just say implement. You see most programmers using this interface. So the next programmer, or maybe the person that's going to be designing the concrete class, once it wants to inherit from the interface, it will have to call the originated function, or less it would give an error in the code or in the program. So you see it's giving an error initially. What it's saying is class TV remote must either be declared abstract or implement abstract method power on in remote. Okay, so if I go to my remote.java, I'll see that I have a power on method, a volume up method, and a volume down method as well. So all I need to do to make this error go away, since I'm going to implement from an interface, I will just call the methods public void power on method, and I will just name this. So I call the power on method and I'll just do SOUT tab, and I'll say CV powered on, CV powered on. Okay, so it's still giving an error. Why? Because you promised it that you're going to implement the three methods that are already in the class. So I'll call another one. I'll call public void volume up. Okay, I need my override keyword as well. So I actually forgot about that. So you need your override keyword to tell Java that you are overriding the method that you're inheriting from. Okay, so I'll inherit my volume up method, and I'll just print out TV volume up. Okay, so but it's still giving an error, and you'll still be wondering why it's still giving an error right here. So if you read the error message, it says class TV remote must either be declared abstract or implement abstract methods volume down in remote. So since it's a is an interface, you need to implement. So I'll just override like this, and then public void volume down. Okay, I think it's volume down. Yeah, so if you see, as we wrote the volume down method that we are inheriting from our interface, you see that all the errors is now cleared away. So I'll just say SOUT tab and TV volume down or something. So that is it. So that is what you need to know on interfaces. Interface is just like a remote control. So each one must have like buttons, powers to work with. You must implement. You're promising it that okay, if I want to implement you, or I want to implement this class, I'll make sure to use all the whole functions that or methods that are declared in the interface class. So that is all you need to know about interface. So I can't explain abstract classes without coding something for more more understanding. Okay, so if I go to my course 11, uh I'll create an animal class. I think I'll just use animal for abstract. It will be more, it will make you guys understand it more. So I'll create a Java class, and I'll name it animal class. Then animal class. So there's no need for, when creating an animal class, it doesn't have like its own I, like to show that it's an abstract class. All you need to do is, I'll zoom this a little bit. Then yeah, all you need to do is just write here after the public, you see abstract, then you see class, then animal. So now it's showing that it's an animal class. So just a brief explanation of what an abstract class is. It's just like, think of it like building a partially built machine. Like, let's say you have methods it can implement, and methods you want it to like complete by itself. I don't know, it won't give you guys understanding now without coding. So if I'll just code a few things. So firstly, I'll call a method called void. I'll say breathe, since we are working with animals. Then void breathe, and I'll say, and I'll print out in the console breathing, dot. Okay, so then I will create an abstract void method, so you guys understand what I mean. So abstracts, I'll call abstract void, and I'll call it make sound. Okay, just like this. So since this make sound method is an abstract class, it still works the same way as an interface, but abstract. It's not necessary for you to inherit every single method. It does it automatically for you. But the one that is declared as an abstract needs to be changed. Okay, let me show you guys what I mean. So if I create a class, and I'll name it new Java class, and I will name it dog. Then if I'm extending, I will say dog extends animal. Okay, so it's giving an error. Some of you be saying, why is it giving an error? Just similar as the interface class. So if you read the error, it says class dog must either be declared abstract or implement abstract method make sound in animal. And if you see, it doesn't say about the breed. It don't like it. doesn't need the breathe method. All it needs is this make sound method that you declared it abstract. Okay, so if I just make this void sound, if I remove the abstract like this and just maybe let me say I put two curly braces like this, and if I go back to my dog class, there is no more error. But since I said I made it an abstract class, there is now an error because it needs to implement that abstract class. So I'll just call this void make sound, override the void make sound. I'll just say SOUT tab, the sound of a dog. I'll say bark, bark. So you see there is no longer an error. So automatically, since it's extending the abstract class, Java is giving it the breathe method that it's in the abstract class. So that is it. All you need to know on abstract and interfaces and more on it is that when you are extending from an interface or inheriting from an interface, you use the a keyword called implements. So you say TV remote implements remote interface. But when you're working with an abstract class, you use the keyword called extends, like a dog class extends the animal class. So that's partially every single thing you need to know and understand in getting started with abstract and interfaces. Okay, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can stay up to date on my latest videos. And also leave a like and comment as well. Your feedback really helps me create better content for you all. Okay.